In the final scene of Garm Hava, Salim Mirza, a middle-aged Muslim, is seen sitting in a horse cart with his wife and youngest son Sikandar as they travel to the nearest railway station in a bid to continue their journey to Pakistan. The setting is in Agra, India, the time shortly after India's independence and its brutal partition. On the streets, there is a rally where young people, mostly unemployed youth, shout slogans for their rights and employment prospects. Sikandar jumps out of the cart and marches into the rally. He becomes a face in the crowd. His father Salim realizes as well that the solution to their problem is not in running away and taking refuge in a country born out of religious consideration, leaving behind one's homeland. A Gandhian in principle, he now understands that the fight is internal as much as it is external. The answer as well is in believing and fighting for equality and justice. As the rally marches on, Salim Mirza, with his own problems and miseries, his own issues due to his religious identities and the constant fear of being heckled, mingles with a sea of people. This sea is a newly formed country, its insecurities, its problems, its own mistrust in its abilities. In this time of crisis, the common man on the street must unite to fight intolerance and bigotry. The dominant theme in most films on partition has always been loss of land, of livelihood, of property, of honor, and of values. Hrithik Ghatak had been one Indian filmmaker who was constantly and continuously affected by partition and the influx of Hindu Bengalis across the border in the city of Calcutta. For Ghatak, the pain was in leaving one's ancestral home and moving over to a stranger habitat as a second-class citizen. Garm Hava addresses the opposite, where Salim Mirza's dichotomy and helplessness stems from the fact that he doesn't wish to leave his homeland and be a stranger to a foreign soil. Neither does he accept his second-rung existence in his own homeland. When Mirza's mother, the old lady, refuses to part with the Haveli she came as a young bride, a place she knows as her own, it resonates with the same pathos as found in Ghatak's Komal Gandhar or Nimai Ghosh's Chinnamul. Train stations recur as a constant motif for displacement and disenchantment. The station here symbolizes leaving more than coming, goodbyes more than welcomes, as swarms of Muslim families, including Mirza's own, leave a prejudiced society with the hope of a better future. In Satyajit Ray's Opur trilogy, the train symbolizes modernity. It is the harbinger of mechanical prowess, man's leap to rationality, the triumph of science over evil traditional mores. In Ghatak's films, the trains are always in the background. They move directionless from and to nowhere. They don't ferry people's hopes. They reflect their monotonous, boring existence. In contrast, in Garm Hava, the train station is a symbol of estrangement. Shyam Benegal's Mammo and Govind Nihalani's television miniseries Tamas both deal with partition as a cataclysmic event in Indian history through their trenchant reflections of suffering, sorrows, and shifting identity crisis. But the film that draws closest to Garm Hava is Tanvir Mokammel's Bangladeshi film Chitra Nodir Pare. Based in present Bangladesh, the film revolves around a Hindu lawyer and his struggles to stay in Bangladesh, then East Pakistan, post-1947. In the end, after the lawyer's death and a succession of atrocious misfortunes, his daughter and her aunt leave their home in search of peace on the other side of the fence. Satyu's Mirza does embark on the journey, but abandons it and decides to leave that pursuit in order to stay and fight what he and his forefathers knew as their own for generations. That is where Satyu's film triumphs. It hurts deep and sharp.